What is up, everybody? We are back. I don't know if I mentioned it on the show last week, but we hit Taylor Pendrith 100 to 1 at the CJ Cup. Byron Nelson. That was quite the sweat on Sunday. I had the lead pretty much all day. And then Ben Cole's birdies, 16 and 17. We were looking dead. Pendrith makes like a 7-footer that rings all the way around the cup for par, just to pull within one. Heading into the 18th hole, and then Coles makes bogey after being greenside in 2, and Pendrith made a birdie. So that was a fun sweat. I'm not going to complain about any bad beats for golf betting for quite some time because that took a lot of luck, but we will take it. I think that's the biggest outright I've ever hit at 100 to 1. So we'll look to keep it going this week. The Wells Fargo Championship. It's a week before the PGA Championship. This is a signature event, which means there are only there were supposed to be 70 golfers in the field, but since the field was released, Ludwig Oberg ended up withdrawing. So he's out. Scotty Scheffler's also out. So there's 69 golfers in the field. Unlike some of the other signature events from earlier in the year, there's not going to be a cut. And then when we talk about the golf course, this course, Quail Hollow, typically hosts this event, but due to the President's Cup, due to COVID, due to them hosting the PGA Championship in 2017, the course history here is a little bit wonky. So if you are looking at course history, make sure to see which course it was actually played at, because I think there's been 2 years where this event has been played at a different course. So Quail Hollow, par 71, 7,558 yards in North Carolina. The last 3 winners here: Wyndham Clark, Rory McIlroy, Max Homa. Really good list of winners there. The difficulty typically in the top 10 in terms of, compared to other courses on the PGA Tour. 7 holes with water hazards. The fairway's pretty wide, 33 yards wide on average. The fairways are tree lined. There's pretty thick rough. So given the length of the course, given the fact that there aren't a ton of, forced layups and dog legs, this is a bomber's paradise. And you're going to see golfers hit driver on almost all of the par 4s and par 5s. So driving distance, bump that up in your models this week. The greens, they feature Bermuda grass with Poa trivalis overseed. They are 6,600 square feet on average. In terms of 2023 tournament averages, driving distance was 304 yards. So again, ton of drivers hit here each year. Driving accuracy, 54%, pretty low. Greens and regulation, 63%, pretty low. And then when it comes to approach shots, 76% of approach shots were hit from at least 150 yards in 2023. So you're going to get a lot of mid and long irons, and you're going to get a lot of scrambling opportunities because these greens are difficult to hit. In terms of the type of golfer that I'm looking for, long off the tee, good with mid and long irons, good scrambler, preferably a good putter as well. Basically all around, but preferably all around with some distance off the tee as well. This is a course where course history has been predictive over the years. So if you do want to bump up course history in your model, I certainly don't mind that. Now let's talk about my model. Again, if you are an RG premium member, you get access to this model. You get to download it. You get to play with the weights, customize your own ratings. You also get access to my core plays and bets every week. I saw a lot of people hit Pendrith with me. You get access to the expert survey, lineup HQ, the optimizer, all that good stuff. So if you want to join us, we'd love to have you. And if you don't have the money for it, we totally understand. Thanks for watching these videos. Hit the thumbs up. Join the Discord. Discord's free. We have a golf channel in there. We talk about plays each week. We also, typically make a group made cut parlay together. We won't be doing that this week, but we'll fire it back up next week for the PGA Championship. And it's just a good place to, talk about golf and to tilt your lineups once lineups do lock. Now, I'm putting a pretty big distance to off the tee metrics this week. I got 9% to off the tee total, 3% for each of the different time frames, 6% to distance, 12% to strokes gained approach. Again, this expected column is basically a calculation on who I expect to gain the most strokes on approach based on where they're going to be hitting their approach shots at this specific course. And if we sort here, we got Xander number 1, Hoagie number 2, who's been the best iron player this year, Finau 3, Morikawa, and then Will Zalatoris, who withdrew last week. So I'd be careful about rostering him, but as long as he thinks he's okay to tee it up, I don't mind him in tournaments. He loves difficult golf courses. He loves long golf courses. The problem is with no cut, if he withdraws, that lineup's going to be dead. Typically, somebody withdraws after lock, like say Sung Jae, and you had 5 of 6, you might have a chance to min cash in cash games or tournaments. But if you get a WD in a no cut event, you're basically dead. Strokes gained around the green, I only have it at 3% right now, but I don't mind bumping that up a little bit. Strokes gained putting with an emphasis on Bermuda and Poa Trivalis overseed in this column here. Birdie or better percentage pretty low compared to most weeks. Bogey avoidance at 6%. Course history again. There have been a few years where this event hasn't been played at this specific course, so I took that out. So I'm looking only at 3 years of course history: 2023, 2021, 2019. Guys that have played the best here over the years. You have Rory McIlroy, Justin Thomas, Ricky Fowler, which is kind of surprising. Victor Hovland, Jason Day. Ricky Fowler, first top 20 in a stroke play event, full field, since his win last summer. So maybe he's found something in his game. The course fit metric, this is just based on the course fit rankings by Data Golf. So you have Rory number 1, Benyon number 2, Wyndham Clark number 3. And if you go over here, just bombers, absolute bombers. Then you have Woodland, Cam Young. I like all these guys, maybe not Woodland as much, but back-to-back top 15 finishes here, still working his way back from that brain surgery he had to have. And then we have long and difficult courses, guys that play the best on those over the last 2 years. You have Rory, Xander, Fitz, Homa, and Wyndham Clark. And you have guys that play the best in very strong fields. You have Xander, Rory, Cantlay, Homa, and Fleetwood. So a lot of similar names in terms of these miscellaneous weights that you can give in the model this week. The form just shows how often and how good golfers have been playing over the last 10 weeks. And then again, like I talked about last week, we're to the point of the season where we have a big enough sample in 2024 where I want to weight short-term just as much as long-term. So I got short-term, mid-term, long-term all at 11% for the week. Now, let's go through the player pool. We'll talk about some golfers, then we will get out of here. We do have ownership projections in here this week. So we'll talk about that a little bit as we go through it. Xander's number 1 in the model. Not really surprising there. I mean, he's finished top 10 in 6 of 9 starts this season. He's been very good at this course, T14, T2. He also played well at the President's Cup here in 2022. So if you're building cash games, if you're just wanting a very safe play up top, I think Xander's your play. I think Rory's probably got more win equity because Xander, he gets in contention, just doesn't win all that much. Rory coming off the team win with Shane Lowry. But yeah, I mean, I think if I'm betting one of these two, I would bet Rory. If I'm playing one in DFS, I would play Xander, if that makes sense. Wyndham Clark, bet him at 16-1. Really like the spot for him. If you look at his signature events, incredible. So he won Pebble Beach, second at API, second at the Players, third the last time out at RBC Heritage, and he won here last year. He's a perfect fit for the course. I do like Clark quite a bit this week. Cantlay played well at the RBC Heritage, but he always plays well there. The irons haven't been good. They were pretty good that week, but prior to that, they haven't been good this year. I don't know what to do with him. I typically like him on these more difficult courses and these stronger fields, especially when it's not a major. But I just don't have a strong take on him right now. Homa, T3 at the Masters, that was very impressive. He won here in 2019. Pretty good course fit. So I don't mind looking to Homa at 9,400. The model loves Tigala. I still don't know what type of course he plays the best at, but he's been, pretty good form, top 10 in 3 of his last 5 starts. He's actually a lot longer off the tee than I originally anticipated. One of the best putters in the field, pretty good scrambler, although that hasn't been the case over the last 3 months. But I do think he's very interesting. And then you have a guy that's a very bad scrambler, Victor Hovland. He's going to need to hit a lot of greens because he has lost around the green in 6 straight events. And some of those, it's been like 2, 3, 4 strokes. So it's been really bad around the green. We thought he had fixed it last year, but the short game problems are back. Hideki, great ball striking numbers all year. No issue with him whatsoever. Been playing some great golf. Tommy, anytime you get him on a difficult course, I like it. He's finished T14, T5 here the last 2 years. A couple top 10s recently as well. So you got that mix of course history and good form. Fitzpatrick's been playing a lot better since he found that extra weight in his driver. T35 here last year. I talked about him being good in some of the comps, the long and difficult courses, the strong fields, stuff like that. So 8,700 seems like a pretty good price point to me. I bet Cam Young this week at 28-1. He is one of the longest hitters in the field. He loves long, difficult courses. I've always said that I think his first win on the PGA Tour is going to come at a championship level golf course. This is certainly one of them. It's hosted the PGA Championship. It's hosting it again next year. It's hosted the President's Cup, which he played in 2022. I think it's a great course for Cam Young. He's obviously got to keep it together around the green and putting, but yeah, I could see him winning this week, no problem. Morikawa, going to be off of Morikawa. So back-to-back top 10s. But if you look at the numbers, really, really bad iron play. So something's going on there. If Morikawa's leaning on a short game, you know that's going to be an issue. Plus, he doesn't really have the distance that a lot of these guys do off the tee. Same goes for Russell Henley. He's a good long iron player. So I guess there's a path for him to succeed here, but I don't love him as much as the model does. Siwoo Kim continues to play great. Elite tee to green numbers. T43 here at last year. He's not very long off the tee, but he was pretty good at the President's Cup here. He and Tom Kim won. I think they beat Cantlay and Xander in one of the days, and that was pretty electric. So he's probably got some good vibes coming into this week. Love Adam Scott. I mean, he's been playing some great golf. T30 last week doesn't seem like much, but he gained 6.3 strokes ball striking. T5 here last year. Tends to play these classical courses very well. Love Scott. Love Corey Connors. I mean, if you're looking for mid-range guys with a high floor and some upside, I would start with those two. Connors might be the best ball striker in the field, at least top 3, I would say, this year. Tony Finau, he's a bomber. He's underrated around the greens. Good long iron player. The problem, he has been really bad on the greens, but I think I'm willing to take the chance there. And then you have JT, who I just don't know what to expect. I mean, T5 last time out of RBC is a pretty good event. He won the PGA Championship here. He played great with Spieth at the President's Cup here. He's got 2 top 30s here. So maybe I'm talking myself into some Justin Thomas this week. So Burns, so he was dealing with the baby narrative as well. I don't know if he had the baby or because his wife was due before Scheffler's, and that's kind of why Scheffler isn't in the field this week. They're expecting their baby. So maybe, Burns already had the baby. He's got that new baby, that new dad swag. I'm not really sure, but he rates out really well if you're going to play him at 4%. Jaeger's been playing some good golf. No issue there. Again, Zalatoris, only tournaments for me. Akshay, I like him in weaker field events. As you can see here, one of the worst in the field when it comes to strong field events. Harmon's surprisingly has a good course history here. I'm not sure how. Maybe he just, likes the way the course sets up for him. Noren's been playing great. Another top 5 finish last week. He's got 6 straight top 30 finishes. I like him in all formats. Spieth's been dealing with an injury and just hasn't been playing good golf all year, so he's an easy fade. Then you look at Denny McCarthy. So he doesn't have the best course fit, right? He's a shorter hitter off the tee, but he loves difficult courses. He's talked about a lot in his interviews. He was T8 here last year. So I think he could be interesting 7,300. Then you have Benny On, who's got the great course fit, the bomber narrative, top 5 last week. Makes a lot of sense. Shank's been playing some good golf as well, just making a ton of cuts, posting a lot of top 20 finishes. If he does that again this week, top 15, top 20, definitely pay off that price point. Lowry coming off the win with Rory. I don't know what to expect because his putter's been really bad, and he almost cost him that event with the putter. But yeah, I mean, I like him on difficult courses, so I might play some Lowry in tournaments. I like English, one of my favorite value plays of the week. Kirk just doesn't have the distance I'm looking for. Day's irons have been really bad. Horschel coming off the win in Corrales. Maybe he keeps it going. We've seen him win one of these signature events. It wasn't I think it was called a designated event at the time when he won Memorial. So he's got some good, history. He also likes Bermuda. So maybe you can play some Billy Horschel. Poston just doesn't have the distance I'm looking for. Hoagie's a great iron player. I'll play some Hoagie. Seabez has never played this event. He's been on fire recently with 5 straight top 30 finishes. But again, that's one of those guys that's not very long off the tee. And he's not only not long, he's not accurate either. So it's kind of a bad combo at this course. Then we got Ekro projects well. Sung Jae withdrew last week, so probably not going to be on him. It was kind of looking like his game was trending in the right direction, but not sure what to expect there. Glover and Moore, probably my 2 favorite plays in the 6K range. You have good ball striker in Glover, and then Moore, 11 for 11 in cuts made this year, and he finished T27 here last year. So I think they make a lot of sense. So yeah, if you want to, read the notes on the rest of the field, feel free to sign up for RG Premium. We'd love to have you. You can download the model. You can read all the notes. You can play around with the weights. You can, once you go through, say you like short-term more than long-term more than I do, then you go through, you adjust all the weights, then you come over here to the upload tab. You copy these into a new spreadsheet, and you just paste the values. You can upload those right into Lineup HQ, and then you can build lineups, based on your own ratings, which is really cool. But I'm going to get out of here. Let's hit another winner this week. Again, I'm betting Clark and who was the other guy? Yeah, Clark and Cam Young. Sorry, Clark at 16 plus 1,600, Cam Young at plus 2,800. If you want my full betting card, scoresandodds.com. It is up there each and every week, or you can find it in my Core Plays article as well. So that's enough for this week. We'll be back here for the PGA Championship. Can't wait for that. Can't wait for this week, and we'll see you later.